Testing audio. Well, we are waiting on one of the players whose kid must be giving them a fit. So, I apologize. I figured I'd come on, just let everyone know what we're waiting for. If they take too long, I'm going to have to get another glass of wine, though. I don't even know what to chat about when there's not a game going. This weekend, taking the wife to go see Comedian in Detroit. There you go. That I am doing. Are we expecting any new X-Wing ships or points? Not ships. And if we talk about new ships, I would wager next year, mid-year would be the earliest we'll hear about them. Would be fun. We did a segment, I don't know, like a couple months ago. I think we did a segment a couple months ago about ships we wanted to see hit the X-Wing circuit. I would say the Bad Batch Lambda would have been like the best thing that they could have done. I personally believe we will see a points update in mid-October. The person I used to know who did the playtesting is not doing playtesting anymore. So I do not know for sure, but I would wager we're at least by mid-October, probably a week, maybe 2 weeks before they show up for that Battle of Yavin. I can't imagine they're not going to adjust points. I just can't imagine they wouldn't do that. My assumption is we will get points adjusted relatively soon. They did say they were not going to adjust points as often unless they needed it. And I think outside of like Crispy's FO list, maybe Vader could use a little bit of adjustment so we don't see him in like Jingoist. I think those are some of the bigger offenders that would be nice to kind of see. 8 fireball list. You're not getting an 8 fireball list, Psych J. I don't know. Maybe you can. I don't even own more than 1 fireball. I don't even know what I would do if I had to run 2 of them. You. So I guess if they have enough loadout, it'd be fun. I mean, we saw who had the Kaz from last week, and there's somebody that had a Kaz that I heard about that had R2 on it, R2D2. I was kind of surprised by that. Seeing some regen show up. But I've also seen, like a Obi-Wan run R2D2 as well. So it's nice hanging out with everybody. Bought a bunch of wine for all the Game of Thrones shows, and I've only actually watched the first one. So the wine just been sitting in my cupboard, not being used. So I figured break it out. I'm a red wine person, not white. I know that doesn't have much to do with X-Wing, but it is what it is. Greg will be proud. We got pizza tonight. We actually have a pizza place around town in Michigan that boasts to be New York style pizza. Thank you, Dr. Weston, for the sub. We had Weston on earlier. Chris, we're getting reprints, but that's not new ships. Twitchy wants to know about new ships. Though, at this point, I'm not like super upset we're not getting new ships because my pocketbook doesn't want a bunch of new ships. I think it's going to be interesting. And here you go. It posts in the chat. Do you think that we're going to get new pilots in some of these new ship packs to kind of force those of us that already own the ships to rebuy them, or they will be strictly reprints? For me, the Alpha Star Wing is one that I'll be happy to pick up. So I don't own any of those, and everybody I've seen with them wants like $100. So, and it could be an opportunity to force us to buy new pilots. And some of me selfishly says, like, okay, so that's the one ship I don't have. Um, I would be interested to know how they're going to do that. Um, you need reprints for the dials. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I could see reprints, getting for the dials and stuff like that. To me, the big thing would be, can I get, um, all of that fanciness and not have to worry about all of that, not have to worry about, getting new pilots. But then on the top of it, I do want the new pilots. So it's kind of like a catch-22. So if they create something new, I want it. If they do not create something new pilot wise, then I don't really need it. I don't know. I think it would be interesting. I would challenge and say it would be nice to have new pilots, but there, like I said, there's certain pieces I would not want to have to rebuy like a bunch of ships for again. I just wouldn't want to do it if I didn't have to. But I don't know. I don't like the YT 2400. I don't know why everybody likes it. I don't care about it. I hate Dash. Dash can burn in hell. JJ at some point owes everybody that list, but obviously JJ's too lazy to help make that list or that meme or any of that. So we'll see. But I don't know. I will be happy if we get new pilots. I will happy if we get new crew. How about that? Like the crew, I think is even better for me than the pilots, right? So if we could get some new crew, in some of these packs, it's gonna be really hard. And again, like I have only one Lambda, so when they re-release the Lambda, or if they choose to do the Bad Batch Lambda, which would be super exciting, um, I would be happy to take that piece and purchase it, But if they're gonna re-release, like I don't know, I don't even know what else would the TIE bomber. I have like 3 TIE bombers. Do I really need another one? Are they gonna re-release the Punisher? That would be a bigger question. Am I gonna get my Punisher back? And um, because the Punisher has 4 pilots. So like that's like to me that's an immediate win. You can add a bunch more pilots and not have to worry about it. So it would be very nice to be able to do that. The other thing I think it would be nice to see is with that Hot Shots and Aces, like they should do a poll. What pilots would you like to see, right? Like let's do a damn poll. Give me a poll, put something out there. Say, here we go, we're going to do this. And that poll would then give us the ability to go, here, these are the most popular pilots. What would be pilots y'all would want to see? There you go. Like I think we did that segment too. What pilots do people want to see? Like I would love to see a Mr. Bones card, not a pilot, obviously, but wouldn't it be amazing to get a Mr. Bones card? Like I just would love to have a Mr. Bones card. When I played Destiny before they ended that game, they had a Mr. Bones playmat, and it was like a kit you had to play to win. And I was in Wisconsin at the time, and there was like a local store I was playing games at, and they decided to hold a tournament. It was a $5 buy-in. I took Ewoks. I ended up winning. And getting the getting the playmat. So I had that playmat. It's amazing. Looks sweet. I use it. I don't play on it all the time, but I do use it for Marvel Champions sometimes. So I do own Marvel Champions playmats too, unfortunately, because I have a problem. I think it's almost like they just want to give us stuff to purchase, and you would think by doing so with those pilots, it would be great. And Oh, man, can you imagine? Like I talked before about this, um, but like some of me wonders if we could get like environment cards or condition cards or different things to add unique twists to the games. And I think I don't know, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should have a game developers discussion. So if you've developed board games or computer games or things like that in the past and you want to be on the show, let me know. We're gonna do that in the next month or so, because I think it'd be an interesting discussion to have a complete discussion about it. And like my friend Corey develops games, like that's what he's done. He's part of a game development group. Um, and him and I've chatted a little bit before because him and I are the most spirited when it comes to points adjustments in our locals. But he, I think he would be a good one to have on to have that conversation about. And I think that's like important because like if you add condition cards in, what does that do to your game? Like what does it do to the meta? So like what if you could have a 1 point condition card, right? So let's say I've been running Boba Eamon Kanan. So let's say I want to run Boba Eamon Gamut and I get a condition card. Does that add too much variability into the game and ruin it? Or does it give it a unique way to kind of twist? So like basically you could have a condition card, let's say that says Tiberian gas or something like that, and that condition card would basically say something to the effect of, collect these canisters, and the more the canisters you get are worth 1 point to you and 2 points to, your opponent or something like that. But then they weigh you down. So like every one of the maneuvers you do is reduce the speed level. So if you're going to do a 3 bank, it's now a 2 bank or something like that. Um, but it would be interesting, I think, to put some of that into the game, only because when you start putting that into the game, you're adding all this complexity and unique different things to it. And then is it really as big of a deal like to have scenarios as much, right? Like I'm very a big proponent of the scenarios, yes, yes, yes. But what if we said, you can play you can have a game where it is a dogfight. So we're going to give you your dogfight scenario. There's going to be no objectives, nothing per se inside of there, except for if you have these condition cards, so you could take deduction points on your list to take a card that could benefit you, so yeah, I'm gonna have Tiberian gas, canisters in my thing. All my speeds are reduced by this amount, but I get X amount of points per turn based on this card. So um I also think team up cards. I know they kind of do team up stuff like with Obi-Wan and Anakin. Um, but I think instead of making it an ability, make it like something you can purchase. Give me something else that you can purchase to um to make it different or crazy. That's kind of what I want to see. Like I think that would be beneficial to the game. Well, I hope Theoman's okay. Um, Tycho? What's that from? I don't know what is that from, was that from a book? I'm gonna have to look that up. You wanna see ground-based stuff? I mean, the ground-based stuff would be, logical. Perform actions even while stressed. No, 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 that's you what ship was that on? What pilot was that? Like, what faction I guess I could look it up, but that just seems crazy. It's an A-wing. It's a rebel A-wing. Oh god. Chris, don't no. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if it was? in resistance. Like they gave it to resistance. Can you coordinate them too then while they were stressed? Did it not matter? Like, is it something that they could be coordinated as well? Because technically, if they could perform actions while stressed, I'm that just sounds awful to me. Oh my god, that's even worse. They could get coordinated. You don't even need AP5 anymore. Hey Ben, come here, coordinate Tycho. Fuck. You don't see why not? Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's a good thing we have a coordinate. I like the coordinate feature in X-Wing. I guess if that's really more of a 2.0 thing, to me that seemed like a good addition. I know people that, the Force is like a very hard thing. And I feel that what they're trying to do, AMG is trying to help balance some of those Force users out with other abilities. Um, Yeah, if you could coordinate somebody or you just perform an action while stressed, come on, like we all know that would be amazing. That would be like off the like, oh, here you go. Um you could just do a 5K, 4K. Do they have 5Ks? I think they do. I don't know. So the question I have is like, okay, if that's the case, can you perform red actions or red um actions while stressed? A and B, could you perform red maneuvers while stressed? Yeah, and I'm not like opposed, I guess, to it, but it just seems um I don't know, that just seems like it would be a bad idea. I don't know, especially in this meta. Maybe make it, you know what? Maybe make it a instead of a pilot, make him a crew, right? Give him a crew card that he's allowed to coordinate any ship every other turn. Yeah, well, A-Wings have amazing blues, so maybe they didn't in 2.0, but or in 1.0, but in 2.0, they have amazing blues. Yeah, I don't know. I don't again, I'm not personally opposed to it. I just don't think Tycho was the A-Wing that crashed into the Star Destroyer in Jedi. All right. Well, so fine, give him a countdown timer then. There you go. Give him a countdown timer that when he takes a stress, he takes 2 stress. And if he ever has more than, let's say, 4 stress, he blows up. I mean, if he really just blew up running into a ship, or all right, well, if it's Arvel, then that's different. But if it is Tycho, that would be amazing to be able to like um do that. Love you too. That's my wine. Don't drink. It's in a wine glass. Leave my wine glass alone. The specialized glass people drink wine out of. Oh my god. Good night. All right, so I looked him up. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Tycho was a loyal son of Alderaan and the New Republic. He willingly chose to subject himself to a surrendering of his basic freedoms in order to bring the Empire down. There you go. Yeah, I don't like auto includes as much, I mean, that's where Vader sits in that weird weird spot, right? I do like that he's a spy though. That's kind of cool. He got accused of murdering Thornhorn. Cornhorn. That's crazy. 2.5 is closer to 1.0. All right, how was that? So that's the first time I've heard somebody say that. The objectives, or is it just the easy shooting that happens? And this dude has tons of back stuff on Wikipedia. There was a ghost Jedi too. That's crazy. This dude's just like all over the place. Yeah, so I don't know about the 2.5 and the 1.0 because I never played 1.0. We were gonna stream 1.0 games just for the hell of it one time, and then I was advised not to. I was told that would seem silly. That would seem silly. But no, I think I think again, I think if you want to use the list, it would be fine. Like use that pilot. I think if you just tweak the ability to make it less needed, that would be great. Um yeah, jingle jingle wampa. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, the wampa I don't think is a big deal personally. Like that's fine. I agree with the jingle jingo. You know, jingle is just yep. They need to go up in price. We already talked about that. Yeah. Well, I think Dr. West, I think some of the direction that they took was somewhat uncharted territory, and no matter how much playtesting they did, there's no way that they had enough time and people that knew what they were doing to playtest enough of these scenarios with the points. Um I do agree there was some definite. I mean, look, I created a Captain Sear list because I think I talked about that earlier. I created a Captain Sear list just because I haven't seen one really do much in 2.5. So I thought, hey, it might be fun. Maybe that would be a fun thing to bring to my local. And it'll piss people off, I think. And you can fit you can fit bombers in these stupid seer lists too, right? Like it no longer has to be that. But anyway, I built the list out almost identical to how it is built in and it comes out in 2.6 or 6 or whatever you want to call it. It comes out to like a 260 point list. Like, um so we could talk about, like if we talk about like growth and curb, they have pushed it a lot farther than we've seen before. I don't know if that's a bad thing though, personally. Um, I mean, I guess we haven't seen a bunch of X-wing. It's not like you could fit 5 X-wings in a list and win. So, we haven't seen that yet. Um, and Doctor, I don't agree with that actually. I agree. I don't agree if they have the same. You don't take the highest loadout unless that's your gimmick. If that's like what you're going for with your list, we like in our locals we have a gentleman that's running 4 X-wings in resistance and has, I don't know, probably for like a month now. And they are not picking the ones with the highest loadout. They are picking them based on certain abilities they're trying to proc, plus if they can carry HLC. So HLC is probably one of the, bigger things, but they're looking at what can I do to get my abilities to proc and how can I get them to proc in certain ways. Um, and so they aren't taking the ones that just have the highest loadout. Though I do agree, personally agree, that, a lot of people, especially when we first started, looked at that. I mean, you don't specifically pick Luke because he has a high loadout, and you definitely don't pick Wedge because of the high loadout. You pick Wedge because Wedge reduces a die, and in this meta, that's crazy. Um, you pick Luke because Luke doesn't like to die. Luke gets free force. You decide you're going to attack him, get your force back. And, um, so no, Lou, no, the game hasn't finished. Theoman has not messaged us back. He disappeared about 35 minutes ago. We're still waiting on him. If you have his list and want to send it over, that would be awesome. You're right. They do cost more than the rest, but they also have special abilities. I don't know. We could pull up. I might just be able to pull up Yasby, maybe. Yeah, we're just sitting here chatting. Yeah, I agree. I do agree that some of these, some of these points are silly. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And I definitely agree that there is not granularity in the points. And I don't know how they can fix that. I do think, weirdly enough, if you go back and look at like the Battle of Yavin, and you go back and actually look at it, they are talking about like a different points value, right? And I wonder if that's going to be like their intro to adjusting how many scenario points they are, so that when they go back and adjust points for pilots, we have a little bit different granularity piece to it. Because like if we went up to 25 points for ships, I could easily see them adjusting Vader up to, back to 11. Then, Boba can go back to 11. We can start splitting the difference. So there's kind of that thing. Yeah, and I don't disagree. I like the load. I would rather see a pool of loadout that allows me to do what to make one ship ultra tanky if I want to do that. I will say, I hope that they ban, if they did do something like that, that they would ban more cards or put more cards on the restricted list. Like Fen Gunner can just go to hell. Nobody needs that stupid card on Ray anymore. Like, I think Ray would just be just fine. You could, like, if they want to lower Ray to 7 points and ban frickin', and ban Fin Gunner, I'd be happy with that. Every ship has better options. I again, I agree. I don't disagree that there is other ships that have options. I mean, okay, look at JJ the other day ran fearsome predators, and nobody would have thought you would have seen those stupid things on the table, because they're just not very good per se. They're not. Like, I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't really want to run them because they're 4 points and they just go pop pop. Um, you know, Now, I would say you could run that with one of those Magna Guards and run one Magna Guard and one of those, and that's 9 points. And the Magna Guards, you could put Sync Laser Cannon on, or the Magna Guard Protectors. That's what they are. Sorry, the Protectors that are the 5 points, and a Tri Fighter with a Fearsome, and you're running, I5s, and you're having the ability to give that Predator 1 extra agility. And I'll be honest, I've ran those. And I will say that the Magna Guard Protector is like being able to get that extra green die. You just have to be in the arc. You don't actually have to be. I originally thought you had to be in front of the ship, blah, blah, blah. No. You just got to be in arc. So they are like, they are better than I think people have given them credit for. I think they're a sleeper ship. It is sad that they're 5 points, But I mean, at least it's being gate kept a little bit because I think at 4 points they become auto includes. Like you just automatically include them because of what they can do with their loadout. Uh, but I mean, if they went down a point, I would more than happily play them easily. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. And in Separatist, I play Separatist maybe a little bit differently. But in Separatist, we don't have the same worry per se, I guess. You don't find the 3 pointer, you find the play style, but that's just that faction, you know. And I don't think in Separatists outside of Grievous there's a auto include. Though I was super down on CAD quite a bit, but I have come to find if you play CAD differently, that I enjoy CAD more than I had before. So for example, last night I played a game and kept CAD in the back. And for 2 turns, CAD didn't take shots. So there was 2 turns that CAD was not taking shots, but CAD was collecting objectives. So I used CAD as a way to try and deter, and I had a ship come in and it ran away from CAD. And I put the ion bombs. I took a thing out of Crispy's book. And I put the ion bombs on CAD, and I only got it off once. And yes, I ionized my own ships, but at the same token, I literally was able to stop a Q9 from moving more than a one straight because it couldn't bank without hitting my ships, and it couldn't bank the other way without hitting the rock. And that Q9 then took two subsequent shots from Grievous and Cad Bane. Yeah. And I think that's probably how I was flying CAD was either like I was very down on CAD. I just did not think it was worth the value. But I mean, you know how many times CAD's ability procced when you couldn't shoot CAD except for at range 3, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm way over here. You're gonna shoot me? You can, but I'm way over here. And then, so I had the CAD doing that, and then CAD all of a sudden comes in real aggressive, does the 5 straight, gets his ion cannon off at range 1, ionizes you. So and the best is you kill the I1 ship, right? Like, so at first I didn't like the I1s, but now I feel in Separatist, because they have the loadout points, it's worth taking the I1s, um because that I1 allowed us to turn around and you give CAD a focus target lock. So like CAD had a focus and a target lock all against Q9, and there became an ionized Q9 that did not go anywhere or do anything. And then the ion bomb drop, and so the Q9 went nowhere for 2 turns and could only focus, you know. So I don't know. I think um I have a list that I played that I'm 5-0 with 2 of those Magna Guard protectors. So I think that is fun. And I've been contemplating playing that. I can't imagine that I'm 5-0 with it, and it feels weird, but you run that with the ship, and the ship, the ship just like, you have to kill those Magna Guard protectors, and I have 2 of them. So the one ship that they're protecting, you have to get past the Magna Guard protector to be able to shoot that ship. And it's an HMP, by the way. There you go. I'm playing something crazy. Like, it's crazy. Get the HMP. Oh, I'm gonna side slip this turn, sit right over here. My Magna Guard protector is 1 harding, and the other one will, I don't know, 1 hard, maybe do a 2 bank, something crazy. We need to play each other next Monday. I don't know, Corey. Why do you just want to? Do you just want to kill my list? Is that what you want? Scrapjackal's Corey from our local, so I played Zach last night, not with that list though. I also been playing Cad and Grievous and some 2 bombers and 2 droids, so that's actually pretty fun. I don't know if Theoman's gonna join us. Anybody can get a hold of Pim? I feel bad keeping everyone. We've been on air for what, hour now? Ugh. It's fun talking to everybody. At least I'm not bored. My kids are all in bed. Wife's asleep. Has to get up early tomorrow. It's not like I got anything to do. Feel like I guess if somebody just does anybody want to play Chris? Chris is to let the Wookiee win is just sitting there waiting. All right. Thank you, Dr. Weston. Yeah, I mean, if they're busy, with their kids, I understand. I understand how it goes, right? It's no hard feelings. I did make a cool graphic for them. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Monday, because we had such a long day. I did a chess, like the thing from what's that chess show on Netflix? God, I can't remember the name of that show now. It was a really amazing show. Love that show. But on Monday, I decided I was going to play 2 different lists against 2 different people. And you can ask Scrapjackal how he thought the how he thought the game went. I don't know if I would recommend it to anybody else. I think it's a funny format. Like I one game, I won Queen's Gambit. Thank you, Queen's Gambit. So I played 2 people at the same time, and at least I guarantee you there was a little bit of sitting around waiting, especially because one list I had 5 dials and the other one only had 3. But it was just that maneuverability and determining where you want to go next. It's harder to plan out 4 or 5 moves in advance when when you have 2 lists you have to play. We at least we played the same scenario, so that was fun. Exact same scenario, so it was easy to be able to do. I did trust my opponents for scoring. They had to keep score for me because there was no way I was going to try to keep score of 2 lists at the same time. That would not be fun. But other than that, I thought it was a fun experience, and I would recommend people try it just because I think it's fun. Um, I think it was fun personally. The other idea we had for a tournament idea would be if you had a team, you were on a team and everybody you had, that's why you won. Um, everybody was on a team and you would move one station down, right? So everybody would get 1 churn. You would have let's say 3-person teams. You would take each other on and then move 1 person down each round. So one round you're playing this guy's setup, the next round you're playing that guy's setup, the next round you're playing that person's setup. I think that's an interesting concept to do. And yes, 2 games at once is very intense. It's like pod racing. There you go. That's why we picked the name for the show last week, was because that's what it did. You're right. It's exactly what it felt like. Was it going to be pod racing? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a fun thing that people could mess around with, especially if you have a couple of opponents, and you just want to test something out that sounds fun. It really was. It really was. It was not a bad time at all. Especially when the funny thing is my dice rolled hot on both tables for the first half of both games. I would roll the one, roll another one, go walk over to the other table, roll the same set of dice. And because they were almost never 4 dice, it was almost always just 3 dice. It was just easy. You just pick the 3 dice up, you re-roll it. It's oh, hit crit. Oh, hit crit. Here you go. Like the dice were hot on one side and on the other side. Now, when I had to defend, that was a little bit different. That was a little bit harder. Defending, my dice were not very hot. But if they don't attack either in the same way, It's kind of the same thing, them not attacking. But I thought, like I said, I thought it was fun. It was a unique experience to do. And I recommend, if you have the time to do it, I would recommend doing it once. And if everybody in your league wants to do it, it would be sweet. No, I had well, the dice. My red dice were hot for the first half of the game, and then they dried up. They just died. And then my green dice were always cold, no matter what. But in fairness, I was only rolling 2 green dice, on the separatist side. Yeah, so, there's that. And on the other side, I was rolling 3 green dice, but um yeah, on the other game, it went a little bit different just because I kept 3 dice over there and 3 dice over there, but the attack dice I used on both. And I don't have cooked dice. I don't even know what cooked dice was. Like, everybody started saying, "You have cooked dice." It's like, what the fuck is a cooked dice? No. I bought the FFG damn dice pack. If that's the case, it's them that did it, not me. Well, I feel bad. I wanted a game for everyone. No, we don't have. We're gonna do it. Well, I was so excited too. I was so excited. I had a earlier we streamed Crispy's Dr. Weston's game earlier today, and I didn't know about this one was gonna happen, and I ended up having to run over. I have a friend who just had surgery. So on my lunch hour today, I made 3 different meals for them so that they would have food and didn't have to, yeah, I didn't have to cook. And so on my lunch hour, I made 3 meals, didn't get to clean the kitchen up, left or came down here, finished my work. Then I streamed the game, got up, went over to their house, dropped off their food, came home, started to do the dishes, and then noticed that everybody was messaging about this game. So then I do like to cook too, by the way, if anybody didn't know that about me. I find cooking not so exactly relaxing, but somewhat relaxing, and I do enjoy it. Probably as much as people enjoy putting Legos together, whereas I only put Legos together with kids. So it'd be nice if somebody listened. Nobody wants to buy me. Nobody wants to buy me. I wanted the damn Mando Lego set for forever. Nobody's bought it for me for Christmas. I guess I should go buy the damn thing. I cook a lot. No, I don't cook dice because I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know people actually. Like, doesn't your dice look warped after that? Like, and how do you get it to cook it so that it would be always hits or crits? Like, I have no idea. Like, I don't even understand how that would work personally. Like, you would just think the plastic would melt and somebody would be like, that somebody cooked that dice. I mean, you would think you would know. You just think you would know. And maybe people did that in Destiny. Maybe that's why some people's Vader dice in Destiny used to roll hot as shit. Be like, oh, there's some good Vader dice. There's some good Vader dice. Oh, Vader was such a beast. There you go. Like, every FFG game, people wanted to make Vader a beast. Vader was a beast in Destiny. At least the second round of Destiny, he was. Oh my god, he would roll. Oh, he rolled hot. You take a dice away, he rolls it back in, and you had Vader's Vader's fist that could come down. Mm, Miss that game. That is a joke about punishing dice. All right, well, I could see that. I mean, if you get rid of them, maybe the other ones will. I don't know. We bought my son like metal dice for his D&D group, and I've never seen him use them. Like, very expensive ass fucking dice too. Like, I didn't know metal dice were that expensive. There you go. Somebody should make that as a prize for X-Men. Give us some metal dice. I don't know. We have a guy at local who has dice that are ultra hot. He gives them to his kid, so we don't complain that much about it. But there's a guy that like he has a certain set of dice, like, and they either roll nothing and he's screwed, or they roll hot as hell, like just off the charts. Yeah, if somebody made metal dice for X-wing, I would be tempted to buy a set. I mean, they would have to sell them in sets of 3 or sets of 6, you know. I don't know if I'd want I don't know what would you do? It would just be so weird. TSA said they were too dangerous. Um, that's hilarious. I can't believe TSA did that. So, weird story, when I used to run another podcast, before this one, and it was like a political, religious style podcast or whatever. Um, but they had we at one time I was, requested, me and my partner who lived in Florida at the time, we were requested to stream our show live at one of the conventions. And so I had to take my mic, and I had a different mic than this one at the time. I had a blue Yeti um uh XLR mic, and I had to take that along with I don't have it anymore, but I used to have like a mini power unit for it, like to give it the phantom power. I used to have like a small cheap one that I took with me, and I had to take that and my mic, and I had to take like a foldable stand, and they literally thought it was a bomb in my suitcase. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, they pulled me aside. But like all of a sudden these dogs came out. I'm sitting here like, oh fuck. Like, did somebody put like drugs in my suitcase or something like that? And no, it was not me. That would have done that because I wasn't crazy enough to do that while I flow. But like these dogs come out and they're like, sir, what's in your suitcase? I was like, it's a microphone. Like, are you sure? Yes, it's a microphone. Like, I'm a podcaster. I stream. What's your podcast name? I was like, you guys you've never heard of it. Well, just tell us anyway. All right, yeah, so I tell them. And like, so they took my whole suitcase apart, and of course they found, the microphone in there, and I was like, can you guys be careful with that? That's like $150 microphone. It would be nice if you didn't not if you didn't break it. That'd be super awesome for me. Um, but they did. I couldn't believe it. So I guess I could see the metal dice thing. So I guess I could see the dice being a weapon that they wouldn't want you to have. It's just the stupidest shit to me, but whatever. I don't know. A lot of that stuff has gone crazy um since 9/11. So, but yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I just couldn't believe, of all things, like, oh, you're going to worry about my microphone. Great. The bomb's not yes, it wasn't even I thought about that. I was like, I should just have kept it in its own case and just had it travel separately, but I didn't want to pay the extra charge, right? Like, I had gotten all my clothes into this tiny suitcase for the whole weekend, and the airplane ticket that I had bought was a um one that had one carry-on, and I had my laptop bag with me, and that just was gonna sit at my feet. And they, like, I guess I could have just got a bigger laptop bag, I guess. I'm pretty shady. I don't know about that. The one time I got on the plane, I was wearing a suit coat. So there you go. Do people in suit coats, and maybe it's because I wore jeans with a suit coat. Maybe that's what it was. It was like a whole 80s, blank t shirt, suit coat, headphones, jeans. Mm, I kind of want to travel again. I guess I get to go to Detroit tomorrow. All right. Well, if there's not going to be any word from Josh, I'll give it a few more minutes. But at this point, it's already 10 o'clock. I don't know how late Chris can stay around. Um, I don't want to keep everybody on hold for another hour. And I got to work tomorrow. So stay around all night. Must be nice. Some of us have to work in the morning. I wish I didn't have to work tomorrow, but I don't feel like taking the day off. co-host. We're not even hosting it. We're not even hosting a show right now. The co-hosts are for Sunday. Can't spell this, tipsy. Oh, you don't have a job. I see. All right. Well, if you live in Michigan and you want to work in healthcare, let me know. I work for a healthcare company and we're always hiring. So we just acquired a new hospital group on the east side of the state. So yay for me. Yeah, I was asked in our team hall meeting if we're gonna because we have a go live to bring the new organizations up into our systems next year. And I work in the tech and analytics area. So I'm part I have to be part of that go live. And so like they're just basically saying we don't know if we're gonna have a date blackout. Archaeology, yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, my son wanted to be an archaeologist when he was little. That was his thing. And now he's going for his psychology degree. He's gonna supposedly be a psychologist. Though he doesn't like to talk. He doesn't hang out with very many friends in person. So I don't know how that's gonna work because he's gonna have to talk to people. Yeah, like that's not his forte, but um I figured it's up to him to figure that out. So yeah, my wife is like super into like history and stuff like that. Like half the time when we take vacations, it's always to go see some historical thing. Like last year, we went down to St. Louis to see the Arch, and we went on and went through the history of some of the burial grounds down there that were pretty cool. I'm pretty fat, so having to walk in 100-degree weather up some of those mounds was not fun. Um, not at all. But the history piece is actually usually pretty cool. Um, we went on for our anniversary. We found a ghost tour just for the hell of it. Not that I believe in. Um, I don't believe in ghosts personally, but we went on a ghost tour just because we thought it would be fun, for the history piece of it. And in Grand Rapids, Michigan, like there is like this lady pointed out like 10 old buildings that were all brothels. And I was like, how the fuck were there are this many people to have this many brothels? Like, that's just crazy to me. Crazy that there was that many back then. But I don't know. I guess I don't know. Seems weird. Different times, I guess. You know, like I guess I could see the Las Vegas thing, but not me. No wives, just hookers. I don't know. I don't know, Deslin. I have no idea. Like it's like it was just weird. I don't know if this lady just liked brothels, if that was like her thing or something. I have no idea. I just know that like it was like every time we turned around, it's like, hey, that building was this brothel? It's like, oh, okay, cool. How can you say the VCX doesn't exist? Oh, ha 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 ha. I like that ghost. I don't believe in other ghosts though. But I used to go ghost observing when I was younger. Because you couldn't call it ghost hunting because you aren't really hunting the ghosts, right? You just want to observe them. There's that. The Ghostbusters believe in me. Yeah. My whole family would tell me that God believes in me too. So, you know, there's that. And then the other side of the family has a different God they believe in. So everybody has their things they believe in. I believe in X Wing. Ghostbusters equals God confirmed. There you go. I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, that was one of my favorite movies though, was Ghostbusters. Literally. Love that movie. Thought it was one of the um, best movies out there, hands down. I've probably seen the first two Ghostbuster movies, oh, I'm gonna say 30 to 40 times easy each. So There was a limit in the house. You could only watch that movie so many times in a year. Like you just couldn't watch it all the time. Just so many times. Then we watched like because I grew up like my parents were like really conservative, so like we weren't allowed to watch a lot of things. So and I'm 40, or I'll be 40 next year. So I was born in '83. There's a lot of things my parents were very about, but they yeah. So there's like certain movies I wasn't allowed to see. Hell, I turned 17 and was not allowed to go see a rated R movie, and so I basically was like, all right, whatever. I'm just gonna go do it anyway. So me and my friend went, and then I was stupid, and I don't remember what I did. I don't know how it happened, but I lost the ticket stub. I saw Reindeer Games. That was the movie I saw on my 17th birthday. It was Reindeer Games with Ben Affleck. Oh my god, I don't think I've seen that movie since then. I don't think I've honestly watched that movie since I saw it in the theater. And like I went with that movie and I lost the ticket stub, and my mom woke me up at like 2 in the morning and grounded me at 2 in the morning for going to see a rated R movie, even though I was legally allowed to. And then she grounded me from going, like, in public, so I didn't have to go to church the next day, so that was kinda nice. And then she was pregnant with my brother at the time, and my brother was born, or she went into the hospital the next day, and my father promptly forgot about my grounding. Like, I was no longer basically grounded after that because he just did nobody wanted to deal with me. So, like, I was just like, "Alright, we got too much shit going on, I just, whatever." I remember my grandparents came down to stay so my dad could stay at the hospital because my mom was in the hospital like 3 or 4 days with my brother. And, um, I just remember my dad would come home and he would be like, "Yeah, I thought he was grounded." And my grandpa's like, "Oh, no, you guys didn't tell us." And it's like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "You didn't tell him, Chris?" I was like, "No." Like, no. I had my own car, so it's not like they had to take me anywhere. Way to spoil an old movie there, Sherman. How about this? Has anybody ever seen Marlboro Man with Bruce Willis in it? There you go. That's a crazy if you've never seen Marlboro Man with Bruce Willis, I highly recommend that movie. One of my favorite Bruce Willis movies ever, hands down. It's Marlboro Man. I'm pretty sure it's Marlboro Man. I better Google that. I'm pretty sure. Most people have not heard of it or seen it. Pretty sure. I like Bruce Willis too, actually, quite a bit growing up. No, it's not about New Zealand. No, I don't. I no, it's not about New Zealand. Maybe it is the Marlboro Man. What the hell is the? I gotta now. I'm gonna have to look it up because that's gonna piss me off. Bruce, not Wayne. Yeah, you can tell I Google way too many DC things. Love me, love me with some Bruce Willis though. All right, Hudson Hawk. I apologize. It's not Marlboro Man. There you go. Hudson Hawk. That's the name of it. The Marlboro Man is a different, like, older John Wayne movie, I think. Yeah, maybe you're right. It's about a wine owner. I don't know. Okay. Never seen that. Hudson Hawk. God damn it. I can't believe that. Um, but if you've never seen Hudson Hawk, that is one of my favorite Bruce Willis movies, and it's like kind of like a very dry, slapsticky, um, comedy basically. It's about a burglar and deals with the CIA, goes on this whole crazy It's like back in the early 90s when they decided to do like wacky, crazy, insane, um, like weird movies like that, like airplane type, movies. My top 3 poisons. I don't know what my top 3 poisons are. I guess and Scotch, bourbon, and Irish whiskey. There you go. And if you have to have the names of them, it's Macallan is for the Scotch, Macallan 12-year or 15-year. My favorite bourbon is that's a hard one. That goes back and forth. Yeah, no cyanide, no cyanide, please. Um, I love Scotch a lot. Scotch is probably my favorite, but it's the most expensive, so I don't drink it as often. I could put a bottle of Scotch down and just no problem. Um, Bourbon, 1792 small batch. If we're talking like reasonably priced stuff, um, you could get into top end bourbon, and I like Basil Hayden. And that's like about 50-ish bucks for a fifth. Basil Hayden is probably my favorite. Um, Irish whiskey. Well, I love the um, Jameson Black. That's probably the best. But I have actually recently been drinking. Is it Powers? I think it's Powers. I don't remember the name of it. It comes in a bottle. It looks similar to the Jameson, and it's made by that boxer. And that's really good Irish whiskey for the price too. Um, yeah, Buffalo Trace is good. I've never had Teeling Irish whiskey. Buffalo Trace is really good. I do like Buffalo Trace. It's to me, it's still a little bit light on the bourbon taste. Bourbon train taste is it's not quite as smooth unless you're gonna buy you buy that single barrel. I like rye whiskey, weirdly enough, too. And I didn't think I would. Rye whiskey is probably kind of the where you get into that middle of the area. It's either really good, like I like the Elijah Craig rye whiskey. Oh, Teeling. Okay, well there you go. That's why. Send me a bottle if you're in Dublin. Send me a bottle. Are you in Dublin? If you're in Dublin, that's good to know. You guys should host an X-wing tournament there, and that would be great. We actually, the wife and I, had a friend who is contemplating moving out to Ireland, and she was like, "Hey, if I go on vacation this year, you guys want to kind of come with us and go over there?" I was like, "Yes, I would love to go to Ireland. Like, you have no idea how much I would love to go to Ireland. Like, oh my god, there's history there, which is great because that'll appease the wife. I could just see myself going to different taverns and eating local food. Hey, Chris, there's nothing wrong with Seagrams. Seagram 7 and Diet 7 Up is the best. I do not like tequila. If mezcal is tequila, I will not drink it. I do not drink much tequila for good reason. Me and tequila have had some rough days. We'll just put it that way. I do like tequila. Don't get me wrong. I really do like tequila, but I choose to abstain uh, from tequila. Tequila is mezcal. I sure. I'm again. I don't. I've never. Okay, so if it's a different type of tequila, great. I don't. If it is it going to interact with my body in the same way? So tequila and me, if I have more than one drink, tequila and me is a 50-50. I will either be lovey dovey or we're going to fight. Afterwards, I'll be happy to hug you, but I'm gonna fight. Like I it's 50-50 with me. So Ryan Coke, yep, I like that. Oh, it's like scotch. All right. Well, hey, if somebody wants to buy some, I don't think I'll be making it out to Greg's thing unless somebody buys me a plane ticket. Um, that's that's like right before my sister's wedding. So um, yeah. But if somebody wants to bring some to Adepticon, I will be at Adepticon next year, whether I'm playing in the tournament or not. I'm if worst comes to worst and they don't do a chance qualifier, I'm literally just going to hang out with Greg. It's just I'm just going to go and I'm going to hang out with Greg the whole time. That's what I'm going to do. So, um I hang out with Greg, hang out with people. I'm going to go to Adepticon no matter what. Um we've already I've already reserved the hotel room per se, but not at the place where the tournament's at because that's very expensive. You've had 2 tequilas so far. Well, I've had a glass of wine, so no scotch tonight. I could have scotch. I do have a couple of bottles of scotch upstairs, but is Islin 18? Islin's not 18. I was just saying, I didn't think Deslin was that young, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't know I didn't know Sandy was 20. So they were telling me that the other day too. I was like, "Oh, okay." I feel very old. I have a son that's 20 and I have a son that's 19. So, um, yeah, you're trapped in a 12-year-old boy, 12-year-old body. Well, lucky you. Lucky you. Well, I don't think Thielman's coming. I'm going to wager he's not coming. Could be wrong. Probably right though. Yeah, how old are your kids, Lou? Daycare age? 3 and 1? Wow. Yeah, you're gonna now. That's crazy. So my youngest is 11 and my second youngest is gonna be 14 next month. So I think I'm pegged at I'll be 46 or 47 when all of my kids graduate. So you guys all have kids late in life. Kids are fun. I mean, they're fun, but I, I don't know. Like kids have I, it's just a responsibility thing. I don't know. So my wife gave up her career per se to be stay at home, and then now my wife's going back to school. So there you go. So she's going for nursing, which will be nice for me because my goal is for her to get a really nice nursing job, and then I can retire at. I'd like to retire at 50, but I don't think that's going to happen. Not with kids. Not with the way school is. My one son just got a trades degree. My other son has a scholarship, so I'm not those two I'm not worried about, but my younger ones, I don't know what we're gonna do with them. I don't even know if they want to go to college. Too bad X-Wing wasn't a thing. Just may X-Wing could be a career. Just make this a career. It'd be a lot safer for Crispy. He wouldn't be getting concussions all the time. Professional X-Wing player. Do not get concussions. They do technically have X-Wing scholarships, as when you just got to get a Worlds invite to get them. Oh, do they have a Canada? Is there going to be a Canada Worlds qualifier? Psych J, I would say I'm going to wager we're probably a no go for a game. So they are having one in Montreal. How far is Montreal from Michigan? In October? Oh, it's sold out. Never mind then. Well, Sherman, if you want to play a game, you ask tag Chris and see if he wants to play you. If not, we're gonna call it a night. Yeah, if Greg gets a world qualifier in Buffalo, I that would be a little bit hard to not want to go. But again, the problem is if I can't travel too much and I have to limit my tournaments, I have too many kids. Uh, let the Wookiee win. That's who it is. No, not Patrick. Montreal one was postponed 3 years. Nickel City tokens to give out? Are you? I take it Buffalo must be really close to where you live, then, Deslin, or close enough. So, Chris, are you gonna play? If you're gonna play the same list and it's close-ish, is it closer than Michigan? We're in the better London. All right. All right. Well, if you're not gonna play, that's not a big deal then. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know where London is. I've never been there. I've been to Toronto once. I've been to Windsor like 3 or 4 times. Outside of that, I haven't been super far in Canada. I have friends that live in Saskatchewan area somewhere. Um, and I guess it'd be nice to go to Canada, but not during the winter. So you're only an hour drive east of Lake Michigan. Well, that's the case. Hey, Deslin, if you're only an hour from Lake Michigan, we have a Michigan GT you should come play in October. It'd be fun. Be fun. Bring the whole crew. All of you should come out. I think hotels in Lansing are like ridiculously cheap. Like ridiculously cheap to go. So like if you want to come play, come play X-Wing in the middle, and it's in the middle of Michigan too. So it's about an hour and 15 minutes from Detroit. So once you cross that border, so figure whatever your time to Detroit is, it's an hour and 15 minutes from there. But I think the hotels are like we found a hotel for $88, but the Radisson, which is where it's at, was like 110 or something like that. Um, but yeah, you should definitely come out and you bring everybody, all bring all the oh my god, if you brought all the Canadians, that would be crazy. That would be fun. And you don't even need a passport to get in Michigan. You might need one to get back to Canada. But Americans don't care. Well, um Americans don't care. But yeah, that'd be fun if y'all came out to Michigan. October 1st, baby. October 1st. You're walking home with something. Yeah. Yeah, we live in yeah, we're in Grand Rapids, so if you came out to Grand Rapids, you know you can get a hold of me. Um that would be fun. Yeah, we play every Monday night. We have anywhere between 6 and 13ish people typically. Yeah, about 13ish. So depends on if Ken brings his son, which he usually does. So usually like Ken brings 4. There's a minimum of 6 of us locals, and then there's like 3 to 5 people that randomly pop in. So, but yeah, we play almost every Monday night. The only time we don't play is like after a weekend tournaments, like after Gen Con. You don't come up. We didn't play, you know. And like the tournament we're in for Michigan GT in Lansing, that next Monday we probably won't play. I guess if a bunch of Canadians came over and stayed till Monday, we would play Monday. Um, yeah, if a bunch of Canadians come over for Michigan GT to play with us, I will get a hotel and hang out with everybody on Saturday night. Or Friday night, whatever they stay. Yeah, you come to Michigan, there's plenty of people to hang out with up here. Like I said, we have a decent like area to play in. I mean, there's more people that play X-Wing, I think, but in our little nichey area, that's kind of that's who we have. We lost some people. We lost a few people to the 2.5 change, and then we gained some people, some newer players. So like we have a couple of guys that just started, and then we have a couple older players that used to play back in the 1.0 days. Um, and yeah, and then after the 1.0 days, they came back for 2.5. So yeah, so that was kind of fun. Definitely fun. Yeah, Lou. Seriously, I'm telling you, Lou Deslin. If you bring the whole crew out, it'll be like a maybe at that point. Maybe you just convince Greg. Maybe Greg will come up. Yeah, damn it, I should message Greg. I wonder if Greg should come out and stream the damn event. That's what Greg should do. That would be fun. You could come out and terrorize us. Just keep that resistance garbage. Though I know what you're running now, Lou. So I talked to Crispy. So Crispy gave me the list he gave you. So I have not had the success you've had with it, though. I'll tell you that. But yeah, come out to Michigan. Yeah, it's October 1st. You can message me or tag me. I can send you all the links. I think we still had 15 or 16 openings left. We are capped at 32, but unless there's 32 of you, we might be able to open up a few more spots. And essentially, the pricing's tiered. We bought a kit from the UK, a Mandalorian kit, and so we have a Mandalorian kit that we're going to be giving away. If I can hit 30 people total, I have 2 painted ships from Pim that I purchased or have partially purchased, and we'll pay him the rest when he finishes them. And he's sending it. Um, and then yeah, so there's that. And then basically the ticket price, the amount of dollars we spend, we get back in pricing. Um, so I put on there a conservative estimate that basically 50% of the tickets are going to come back to us in pricing. I technically somewhat control the prize support. I can't control exactly what they give us, but I can control how it's distributed out amongst everybody. So we're not going to go top down where only the top cut people get stuff. We're going to try to make it so everybody gets something. Um, that's our goal. And that's because 2 years ago this place was actually scheduled to be a world's qualifier, but for whatever reason they didn't register it this year. But we are so I am now part of the group for the X-Wing. I'm going to be working, Ken and I will be working together every year for prizing. So hopefully next year um we'll be able to actually get any like a world's qualifier or something, whatever they do, like a championship. So, and Michigan is a nice drive. Yeah, we have shitty roads sometimes, but the roads you'll take out of Detroit will be fine. So, and you're only going to Lansing. Only going to Lansing. And if you come up to Michigan, we got good beer here. If you like beer, I don't like beer, but if you like beer, we have good beer. We have okay whiskey, but really you have so the secret to the whiskey is you have to have certain like type of water. If you don't bring the water in, you just use Michigan water, doesn't taste as good. I don't care what anyone says. You don't care about beer. Well, there you go. I'm not a beer person. Um, not a beer person. I do like to drink, but not a beer person. Yeah, if you come out to Lansing, there's plenty of places in Lansing, I'm sure. And if we just stay at the hotel, there's plenty of things there. Yeah, I prefer liquor as well. Definitely prefer the liquor over the beer. I actually don't drink beer almost ever, so. Well, all right. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us. If you all are serious about coming up, you can message me or tag me on Discord in a few minutes, and once I get everything cleaned up and set up for work tomorrow, no, Lou, they call it pop. I call it soda. Michigan people call it pop. Just so you know, Michigan people call it pop. I call it soda. I'm from Ohio, so like, and if you go, if you, how about this? You want to know something crazy? If you go down south, they call it Coke. You go down to like Georgia, Texas area, everybody's like, I'd like a Coke. What type of Coke would you like? I'll have a Mountain Dew Coke. Crazy. I had a friend from Georgia in high school. We used to make fun of him all the time. You just couldn't help it. Just couldn't help it. But yeah, people down south because Coca Cola is actually originated in Georgia. That's why. So yeah, that's what they call it. I call things soda personally, but they call it Coke. And like, I don't know. The first time I ever heard it, I thought it was crazy. The crazy with the soft drinks. Yeah, they used to have and if you go to Wisconsin, they have this thing called Sun Drop or something like that, and like they think it's a million times better than Mountain Dew. It's not, but they really genuinely think it is, and it's not. But when I was traveling for work out to Wisconsin for about a year, and this dude like here you go, try this. It's like, ugh, not good. But people like it over there. It tastes like battery, like sugar battery acid. That's what it is. I don't know what poke gifts are. I don't know if I want to know. Is that like a weird thing? Oh, Pokemon Go. Oh, okay. No, I don't know what that is. I don't play that. I know what my kids I think have it on. I'm too old for that, I think. We're not active enough. Could be that. Well, all right. Well, sorry about that, folks. I thought we'd have a game. I guess we got like a weird podcast in, kind of. Kind of got a weird podcast in. It was nice hanging out. We'll have to do this more often. If Greg's not going to take Thursdays anymore, maybe we'll start streaming on Thursdays. So we were trying not to step on anyone's toes streaming during the week, so we kind of quit streaming games for a little while between JJ moving and me not wanting to stream over top of other people except for XCC. It was kind of a hard thing. So, but maybe maybe it won't be that big a deal. I have no idea if he did or not, to be honest with you, or if it was just this week. I don't know. But yeah, if they, and we'll try to find a slot again. I miss streaming games as much as we used to. For a little while there, we were streaming like 3 or 4 a week. No, we're not. So, all right. Well, thank you, everyone. We will see you Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if JJ has good enough internet to stream this game tomorrow. So if you guys get this game in, Chris, and can do it before, it would have to be. I'm leaving at 2 tomorrow, so it'd have to be by noon. I might be able to pick it up, but other than that, I will not. I unfortunately am gone this weekend. I am gone, taking the wife out. So, but either way, thank you all. It was fun chatting with you. Have a good night, and hopefully, we will see you Sunday.